Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2488 with the release date of Friday, July 4th, 2025, to follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST. A team sets a world record for CW call sign copy, a high-flying field day experience, and meet our Young Ham of the Year for 2025. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2488 comes your way right now. From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's first independent on-the-air news and bulletin service. Now reporting from Charleston, West Virginia, here's Jim Dameron in a TMW. Our top story this week takes us to Germany, where Europe's biggest ham radio trade fair was also the scene of a record-breaking achievement worthy of the Guinness Book of World Records. Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, brings us up to date.
Ham Radio Friedrichshafen theme this year centered around remote radio operations, but strong attendance proved that hams still like to show up in person to greet one another. An estimated 11,600 guests from 52 countries made the annual trip to Germany. Many of them were present as the ham radio fair celebrated a record-breaking moment. A 13-year-old radio amateur from Romania surpassed last year's achievement in high-speed telegraphy. As spectators watched, mostly in silence, Ionis Kudaru, Y08YNS, achieved a maximum speed of 1,160 characters per minute for call sign copy, for a total score of 395,191, landing him in the Guinness Book of Records. The crowd erupted in cheers and applause only after he'd finished, and the announcement was made. Eunice, the son of Lucian, Y08SLC, has been practicing Morse code since the age of 8. This is Jeremy Bucci for NJH.
So, how was your field day? Here in West Virginia, it had one radio operator flying high. As we hear from Jen DeSalvo, W9TXJ.
The East River Amateur Radio Club in Bluefield, West Virginia, picked quite the location for this year's field day.
We chose the local municipal airport, Mercer County Airport, to be our venue.
President Dave Lester, N8VFR, said it was in a nice area outside of the airfield where they set up pop-ups and GOTA. As the event was winding down on Sunday, and Dave was starting to think about packing up, club member and pilot Jay Belt, K8CTI,
looked at me and said, "Hey, let's go get on HF up in the air," and of course I'm not going to say no.
Jay had put together a station, an HF rig.
Just 20 meters. It was a quarter-wave infed, and he had that ran from wing to tail.
Being in the air, Dave was easily getting through pileups.
I noticed immediately that I didn't have to turn the VFO very much at all to hear stations. I guess the elevation, I was just hearing everything.
In the air, they used Jay's call sign, and toward the end of the flight, Dave said he found the frequency.
Dan just started calling CQ.
CQ Field Day from Kilo 8, Charlie Tango, India, Aeronautical Mobile.
There were some challenges, the logistics of logging, and
the radio and the tuner were screwed to this board, and I was having to balance it between my knees because there's nowhere in the plane to mount the thing.
It was a total of 39 minutes from takeoff to landing. During that time, Dave snagged 11 contacts. It wasn't just the aircraft on the air which made the club's field day successful.
I was completely blown away and overwhelmed by the public reaction for our field day. We had guests that just came out of nowhere.
There were young adults in their 20s, an amateur extra who came out to GOTA for his very first time, and several people signed up for the club's exams.
It was definitely a positive impact on the community, and I guess being at the airport was kind of a draw.
I'd say.
Field Day, Aeronautical Station Mobile.
Jen DeSalvo, W9TXJ.
The ham radio community is grieving the loss of Roger Smallwood, N8EKG, president of operations at R&L Electronics in Ohio for more than 40 years. Roger, who had cancer, became a silent key on Saturday, the 28th of June. In his online obituary, customers and longtime friends alike recalled his friendly, easygoing manner, his helpfulness, and his much-anticipated appearances at Dayton Hamvention. Many recall the family business that he helped build, which earned the popular nickname the Candy Store for its assortment of amateur radio equipment. Roger was 55. For decades now, the race to the moon has always symbolized one of the biggest challenges in global space-based competitions. The Russian EME contest doesn't use any spacecraft, however, just VHF radio communications. And it's a race to the moon that stirred interest worldwide for years. Jim Meechan, ZL2 VHF, explains.
Get ready for the second round of the Russian EME contest. Hosted by the Union of Radio Amateurs of Russia, the 6th annual international competition kicked off with its first round on the last weekend in June. Now competitors are preparing for the final round on July 26th and 27th. While the first round was held on 144 MHz, 432 MHz, 5.6 GHz, and 24 GHz, the second round will see amateurs trying for EME QSOs utilizing 1296 MHz, 2.3 GHz, and 10 GHz. Once again, hams will be making use of CW, SSB, and the digital modes. To see the results of last year's competition, visit the link in the text version of this week's newscast at arnewsline.org. This is Jim Meechan, ZL2BHF.
Our panel of judges has selected the 2025 Amateur Radio Newsline Bill Pasternak Memorial Young Ham of the Year Award winner. Mark Abramovich, NT3V, is chairman of the award committee and has the announcement.
She is 17 years old and from the small town of Columbiana in northeast Ohio. Meet Katie Campbell, KE8LQR.
You are the 2025 Young Ham of the Year.
Thank you so much.
Are you surprised?
Yeah.
Not expecting a call like this as the summer begins.
Katie Campbell is a bright and talented advocate for youth in amateur radio whose interest in the hobby was sparked when she was 10.
My school started an amateur radio and electronics club my 5th grade year, open to just middle schoolers that year. So I joined and then pretty quickly made the connection that that's like what my family had been sort of involved with. My grandpa had had his license since he was around 14, and then my mom, she'd also had her license since middle school, but I didn't know that until after I got mine. She wasn't very active, and neither was my grandpa.
Katie says she quickly got her ham ticket advancing all the way to extra by the age of 11. She says she then discovered the music of Morse code. She immersed herself in CW and contesting and rose to become president of K8LPS, the Columbiana School Radio Club, located inside the science classroom of Katie's mom, Colleen Campbell, KB8VAQ. Her dad is Robert Campbell, KE8LYZ. Katie's maternal grandfather is Thomas Frost, N8GGK. It was her interest that got him radioactive again. Katie attended the Youth on the Air Camp in 2022 in Cincinnati and has been a key staff member ever since, doing public relations and mentoring campers. Katie has been a regular presenter at forums at the Dayton Hamvention, Hamcation, and CPAC. Katie has another opportunity as she begins her senior year of high school as an exchange student in Germany. She's hoping to make amateur radio a part of her experience. Congratulations, Katie, from all of us at Amateur Radio Newsline. I'm Mark Abramovich, NT3V.
Yes, Katie, and I echo those hearty congratulations. Time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the AA7WI 2-meter repeater in Tucson, Arizona, on Fridays at 7 p.m. local time. Russia's space station partnership with the U.S. will soon be replaced by its own orbital station as Roscosmos prepares its first modules. We hear more from Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
Just as the U.S. prepares to take the International Space Station out of service in 2030, the space agency Roscosmos plans to launch the first modules for its Russian orbital station, the world's first drone platform space station employing robot maintenance. The move also marks the end of international collaboration in space between NASA and Roscosmos. The Russian Space Agency is eyeing a 2027 launch for the first segment of its space station, the Scientific and Power Module, as the station enters a near-polar orbit. The full transition to the Russian orbital station is expected to be completed by 2030, just as the ISS awaits decommissioning. Other modules are also set for launch in 2030, including the Gateway, the Universal Node, and base modules. Roscosmos expects the spacecraft to establish several stable communication channels by 2030 as the number of communication devices increases over the years. Roscosmos views the space station as a permanent fixture for Russia's space activities well outside of Earth's orbit. This is Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
If you are involved in hurricane response here in the United States and are hearing this newscast before July 7th, a live-streamed roundtable hosted by the Federal Communications Commission on that date may be of interest to you. Randy Sly, W4XJ, explains.
The Federal Communications Commission has scheduled a live online roundtable that it hopes will help communicators, public safety workers, and power companies improve collaboration during this hurricane season in the U.S. The Hurricane Season Resiliency Roundtable is taking place on Monday, the 7th of July, and will be conducted by the Public Safety and Homeland Security Bureau. Advance registration is required. The program, which can be attended in person or via a live stream, will take place in 3 panel sessions. Challenges to response and recovery of power and communications outages in the aftermath of a hurricane will be the first topic covered. Collaboration will be explored in the second session. Current government, intra-industry, and cross-industry partnerships. The final session will look at planning ahead. It is called the Advanced Preparation Frameworks for Power and Communications. The roundtable begins at 9:30 a.m. at FCC headquarters in Washington, D.C. To register, see the link in the text version of this week's newscast script at arnewsline.org. This is Randy Sly, W4XJ.
In the world of DX, Aldir, PY1SAD, is on the air as 8R1TM from Guyana until the 8th of July. He's using CW, SSB, and the digital modes on 160 through 6 meters. He's also making contacts by way of satellite. See QRZ.com for QSL details. Peter, LB2OB, is operating holiday style from Jan Mayen, IOTA number EU022 as JX/LB2OG for the next few weeks. He's operating primarily on 40 and 20 meters using SSB and FT8, QSL via his home call. Tim, N0UI, is on the air as ZD7TIM from St. Helena, IOTA number AF022 through to the 13th of July. Tim is using CW, SSB, and maybe some RTTY on 40 through 10 meters. Be listening as well on 6 meters if conditions are favorable. See QRZ.com for QSL details. Our final story isn't exactly a news leak, but let's just say that we really can't hold it much longer. Neither can Neil Rapp, WB9VPG.
Are you sitting down? Well, it's time to lift the lid on the news. Toilets on the Air is coming in August. If you happen to be in the New York City area that month, well, you gotta go. You just gotta go. The amateur radio contest was begun by George DH5GH at the Chaos Communication Congress, a hacker conference in Germany. It is making its debut in the U.S. at the Hope 16 conference in New York City in August. Because Hope is a hub for hackers and innovators, contest organizer Todd Mazursky, KE2AEQ, thought this venue would be perfect to launch a creative challenge to license hams there. Activators select designated restrooms on the campus of St. John's University to make the most CW, voice, and digital contacts with others on 2 meters and 70 centimeters. Now, let's be clear. Activators are permitted to sit or stand while they're doing their business while holding their HTs, but they must be outside restroom doors and a few meters away. They can only go inside the bathroom to go inside the bathroom for the usual reason. Yes, you heard that right. Bathroom breaks are okay. Now, that's a relief. Todd announced the contest on his blog. So did Thomas Witherspoon, K4SWL. It's posted on his site, the appropriately named QRPer.com. This is Neil Rapp, WB9VPG.
I have to admit, I feel a little flushed after that story. A good QSO can be like poetry sometimes, so why not write a haiku about amateur radio and join the Newsline Haiku Challenge? It's as easy as writing a QSL card. We can only accept the correct haiku format, that is, a 3-line verse with 5 syllables in the first line, 7 in the second, and 5 in the third. Submit your work on our website at arnewsline.org. Each week's winner gets a shout-out on our website, where everyone can find the winning haiku. With thanks to Amateur News Daily, AMSAT, ARRL, BBC, Brown Dawson Flick Funeral Home, David Bayar, K7DB, DX World, 425DX Bulletin, FCC, Ham Radio Friedrichshafen, Lucian Y08SLC, QRPer.com, QRZ.com, Radio World, shortwaveradio.de, Todd Mazursky blog, Union of Radio Amateurs of Russia, Wireless Institute of Australia, Zero Retries newsletter, and you, our listeners, that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer, non-profit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org and know that we appreciate you all. We also remind our listeners that if you like our newscast, please leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Jim Dameron, NATMW in Charleston, West Virginia, saying 73. And happy birthday, USA, and God bless America. As always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2025, all rights reserved.
W8WKY. This is K8PMI. ClubNet will be starting in about 10 minutes, and I have NetLogger up and running for anybody that wants to check in on the blue screen. You're welcome to do so, and I'll be back in 10 minutes when they start the net. This is K8PMI.
The weekly Serenet, featuring club news, trivia, and check-ins from some of the nicest hams in the universe starts in 5 minutes.
I think Phil PMI is doing it tonight. KCFQV. I'm waiting.
W8WKY.
Get ready for the weekly Serenet starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, Northeast Ohio and all our Outlanders. CQ, this is the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association, ClubNet, on the WKY repeater. We're at 147 Mark 39 with a PL tone of 114 Mark 8. This is a controlled net open to any and all licensed amateurs. All traffic should go through net control. Emergency traffic and priority traffic can break in at any time. Just say emergency or break, and we'll get to you. Your net control operator this evening is Phil, and my call sign is K8PMI. That's Kilo 8 Papa Mike India. Break. Okay, I have a list of trivia questions, and I'm doing it a little bit different, I think, this time. And I'll just give a question out, and when we get it answered, we'll move on to the next question. So I'm going to give you the first trivia question, and then I'll take a round of check-ins, and we'll go from there. Also, I have NetLogger up, so anybody that wants to check in on NetLogger, just tell me you want to be checked in there. Other than that, I'll just pick you up when you call in. The first trivia question before the check-ins is, what is the largest island in the Caribbean? And don't Google it. So, other than that, if there are any short times mobile that want to check in, call now. We'll do short time and mobiles first.
KE8 VOX at Kilo Echo 8, Victor Oscar X-Ray Scott, and I'll be in and out tonight.
OE Victor Hotel Mike, Tommy Green, in and out.
Whiskey 8, Charlie Tango Mike, Chariot, Portage Lakes, in and out.
Kilo Echo 8, Zulu Zulu Romeo, KE8 ZZR, Harry, in and out.
KE8 IME, David Sterling, in and out.
Anybody else that's in and out?
KF8 AHI, Kilo Foxtrot 8, Alpha Hotel India, Mike Barberton, in and out.
Kilo Echo 8, Indian Ripman. Hey, I'll be in and out. 73, God bless everyone.
Not Phil. Kia F8, Fairport Coaster. Mark in Wadford, in and out.
W8 GMM. Gary and Rooster, in and out.
Gary, can you repeat your call sign one more time, please?
Whiskey 8, Gulf, Mike Fox, QSL.
QSL. Anybody else that's in and out?
K8 PMI, Whiskey 8 Tango Delta, W8 CD, John and Wadsworth. In and out, please.
Whiskey 8, Juliet Alpha X-Ray, W8 JAX. Rod, I will be in and out. Good evening, all.
All right, I think I got everybody there. Sorry about that I didn't call for the in and outs first. Not used to that with the club net. Barometer net, we don't get a lot of in and outs, but we did here tonight, and thank you all for checking in. I got you all up there. So the trivia question is, what is the largest island in the Caribbean? That's our first question. I'm looking for check-ins, and give me a call now. This is K8 PMI. I'm listening.
K8 PMI, please copy Alpha 8 Charlie Sierra AA8CS Gary in Fairlawn.
Kilo Alpha 8, Mike November Tango. That's KA8 MNT, Tom in Canton. November Tango 8 Delta, NT8D, Dave and Copley.
Kilo Delta 8 Charlie Mike November, 88 CMN, Harvey and Worcester.
K8 PMI. This is Kilo Delta 8 Sierra Lima Golf, KD8 SLG, Nick, down the farm.
All right, I hope this is general check-in time. This is Alpha Bravo 8 Mike Oscar, ABNMO, Dewberry, Ohio.
Kilo Foxtrot 8 Delta Tango Papa KF8 DTP Lori Maslin.
W8WKY.
W8WKY, this is WO3X Whiskey Oscar 3 X-Ray. Name here is John. I'm in Cuyahoga Falls. I'm in.
All right, I'll pick it up there. All right, Gary, AAHCS, Tom, I got Dave, I got Henry, Nick, Andy, Lori, and John. So we'll start top to El Presidente. AAHCS, this is K8PMI. You're up first on the club net, and you got an answer for me?
Oh, do I have an answer for you? Good evening, Phil. Good to hear you this evening, and good to hear you on the net. And interesting take on the trivia questions tonight. That's cool. So we're just going to go through a few of them. So a couple things. KA8MNT, Tom. When you're up, man, give us a update on how you're doing. And I'm assuming they got the wires put back together for you, and all of that is going well. Anyway, very, very curious as to how that's all going down. And let's see, what else did I have? I don't think much of anything else. I got a 3D printer, though. Kind of excited about that. We'll see how that works out. Got it from MacBid for about $100. Not bad, not bad. Now, as far as the trivia question is concerned, Phil, is this a trick question or something? I'm thinking... the biggest island in the Caribbean has to be Cuba, I would think, right? I mean, that's one big island, and I think it's in the Caribbean, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, I'm going to go with Cuba. That would be my guess. I guess that's about it. I thought I had a lot more to say this evening. I'm looking forward to our next meeting. I really do want to do a nice report on field day. It was a good one. I mean, I had a ball, and if you guys had half the fun I had, you nailed it. Anyway, that's all I got, Phil. KPMI, back to you, AAHCS.
AAHCS. Well, with the trivia question, that was a very good guess. I figured most people would forget that Cuba is in the Caribbean and go much farther south. But good job with that. And yes, field day was a great time, and I think everybody had fun that was there that I associated with, which was pretty much everybody. So, all right. Next up on the list is Tom, and the next trivia question I hear is, what is the only continent without an active volcano? Maybe Tom will get that one. So over to you, Tom. KA8MNT, you're up next on the Club Net.
K8PMI, K8MNT. The only continent without an active volcano. I'm going to have to say Africa. So we'll see how well that fares. Let me see. Gary, I have to apologize. I have been sleeping 90% of the time since I've been home last Monday. And I neglected to let you know that, and I have to apologize for that. But I am getting stronger. they did not go in and change any wires or anything, and there was no open heart surgery. They decided they didn't want to do that, but they did give me a heart ablation, they call it. That's where they go in and they kill off scar tissue that was causing my heart to go about 160 beats per minute, and got that all taken care of, and I'm down to my regular 60 to 70 heartbeats per minute now, so everything's doing good there. We're doing good otherwise down here, and there's a good possibility we'll see you at the next club meeting, so we'll see what happens. All right, with that, I'm going to say 7-3s, everybody. This is K88MNT, turning everything back over to K8PMI.
All right, Tom, and I'm glad you're doing much better, and resting is not, you don't need an apology for that. You've been through a lot with that, and get better, and can't wait to see you at the next meeting. And as far as your question goes, Africa is not the correct answer. So we only got 6 more continents to go. So that question is still active. And next up on the list is Dave, NT8D. You're up next on the ClubNet. This is K8PMI.
Good evening, Sarah and friends and Gary and K8PMI, W8WKY, NT8D here. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. It's gorgeous today. Humidity broke a little bit. I got some work done, did some shopping, went out and played around in some parks around town, and so my announcement is that the Bob Bone Memorial Field Day will happen again this year. July 19th, traditional starting point, Bueller's parking lot, 10 a.m. Please get there by 10:15 or 10:20 so that we don't spread it out too much. Bring a partner if you want. It's fun that way. The rain date will be the next Saturday, 26th. And so everything looks like it's going to fall into place so far. Hope everybody had a safe 4th of July. Anything else going on? Looking forward to seeing people at the meeting. The next one coming up. There was one more thing that I can't remember. If I have to, I'll recheck. But that leaves me with trivia. It's got to be then, I'm going to guess, either Australia or Antarctica. And I'm just going to pick Australia. Back to W8WKY, NT8D.
NT8D, very good guess. I figured Africa and Australia would be the two that people would most likely go for. But yes, it is Australia. So good job there, Dave. And glad you had a great day. And we're going to clear with NT8D. And Henry, you're up next. And I didn't get your complete call sign. So if you could repeat your call sign, and I'll log you in here. And you're up next. And the next trivia question is, what is a group of flamingos called? Over to you, Henry.
If you're referring to Harvey, it's Kilo Delta 8, Charlie Mike November.
Couldn't read my own writing there. I apologize, and I didn't get your call sign, so it didn't come up on my logger there. So, yes, Harvey, you're up next. Apologize for that. And what do you got for the net? This is K8PMI.
W8WKY.
Good evening, everyone. beautiful day here. Worked on a fan dipole, spacing out the spacers at the time, or I guess the insulators and spacers. Trying to get that dialed in. Been running an NSEC, and I forgot I had this the DXEE from Alpha Delta. I forgot I had it, but I might as well utilize it. And as far as for the trivia question, boy, flamingos. That I do not know. I will just say a flock, and I know it won't be right. But thanks for taking the net tonight. It's 88 CMM.
All right, that is not the correct answer, but that's a very good guess. And you have a good evening, and we'll catch you on down the log. Let's head on over down to the farm. He probably knows what a bunch of flamingos are called. KD8SLG, this is K8PMI. You're up next on net.
K8PMI, this is KD8SLG. Good evening, Phil, and all the Sarah Club netizens. Great to be here. Let's see, a group of flamingos. I have a flamboyant answer for you. I think it's called a flamboyance. I happen to find names of groups of animals interesting, like a mob of kangaroos or a parliament of owls. I'm pretty sure it's a flamboyance of flamingos. That's my guess tonight. Let me know if I'm right. Let's see what's going on. Busy day today. Audrey gets surgery tomorrow, carpal tunnel syndrome, both arms. So I'm going to be helping take care of her for a while, kind of paying her back for the beginning of the year for me. That's what's going on here. And good to hear you, Phil. Fine business. I like the trivia thing. I've been trying to come up with something different for at night. It's not a bad idea. Cool. Thanks, Phil. KD8SLG, back to net control.
KD8SLG. Well, let Audrey know that she's in our prayers, and now she needs your help. So make sure you have plenty of ice. At least we know you have a machine to take care of that for you. So trivia question, you got that right. It was the flamboyant answer was very good, and you got it. So now we're going to head up to maple syrup area, AB8MO up there in Burton. I got to come up with a question for you, and the one I got up next is, what is the name of the three-headed dog in Harry Potter? Over to you, Andy. This is K8PMI.
Oh, my gosh. WWKY from AB8MO. I've never watched Harry Potter. I don't know. We'll go with Fido. I don't think that's right. So anyway, interesting. You got this trivia thing going there. I was just going to be different when you said the largest island in the Caribbean. I was going to say Hispaniola, but I knew Cuba was pretty big too. I figured Cuba was the right answer, but I highly doubt it's Fido. Probably some mythical name of some kind. Probably not Fido. So I'm very irregular too, just like AI5HV Greg is. Twice a month I've got the Warren Amateur Radio Association meeting. It's the only club I know of that meets twice a month, so I usually just try to hit one. Sometimes I hit both, but they're having it at the Trumbull County EMA, which is only a half-hour drive for me. Just inside the city of Warren, which is about a half-hour drive, so that's not too bad, compared to Rittman, which is an hour and 15 minutes for me. So that's a whole lot closer. And I am member ID 14070. Yeah, you got the Ole Miss net profile there pulled up. You got to, because that's my Ole Miss number. That's why I was wondering if a 15257 was yours there, Phil. I kind of thought it was an Ole Miss number. That's all I got from the land of snow and maple syrup, neither of which is happening right now, but I'm okay with that. W8WKY and the Club Net. This is AB8MO.
AB8MO. Your answer is wrong. Finally, I got one. Nobody reads Harry Potter, maybe in this group. Good try, though, because I didn't know the answer either. I had to look it up. So, all right, we'll talk to you later, Andy. Good job. Let's head over to Lori, KF8DTP. Do I have the call sign right, Lori?
K8PMI from KF8DTP. Yes, you got my call sign right. Sorry about that. I had to cough. And the answer to the trivia question is Fluffy. I love Harry Potter. I can't tell you how many times I've watched the movie, so this is kind of awesome. So I don't really have much to say, but I will hand it back over to you, Phil. 7-3, y'all. Have a great evening.
Well, you got it right there, Lori. I knew we'd have one in there, so congratulations. Up next will be John, WO3X, but I got to get you a question. Your question is going to be, what sport uses a shuttlecock? What sport uses a shuttlecock? All right, John, you're up. WO3X. This is K8PMI.
K8PMI, this is WO3X here in Cuyahoga Falls. Let's see, I'm just going to guess on that, and then I'll mention some other things. Let's see, maybe badminton. That's my guess. Let's see here. Before the net here, this net, I had already checked into the Ohio Emergency Preparedness Net, the Sunbelt Service Net, and then the Ohio Digital Emergency Net. That one is fun. It's on, it's FL Digi, but it's on a frequency in the 80 meter band, way at the bottom. It's 3584.5 kilohertz upper sideband. That's the funny thing about it, and it's amazing how the signals come through all the noise and stuff. It just comes right through. It's amazing. Let's see, and so then after this net, I have the Watch Net, and then Lisbon Area Amateur Radio Association Tuesday night 2 meter net, and then at 9:30 is the WA3COM 10 meter net. So Tuesday is a fun net night for me. Also, in between the Sunbelt Service Net and the Ohio Digital Emergency Net, I submitted my field day results online. And so I operated as WO3X1 Echo Ohio. And so got that all completed, including a picture of my batteries as supporting documentation. So that went through, and I got a confirmation number. So I got a lot done this evening here. So with that, K8PMI, this is WO3X, back to the net.
W8WKY.
All right. Well, that was a good guess on your trivia question because the answer was badminton. So good job there, and thanks for joining us. And it sounds like you have a busy day and the rest of the night, so have fun playing radio. Next up will be Eric, KE8VZA, and we'll give you one of the easier ones. Next question is, what was the first permanent English settlement in North America? KE8VZA, this is K8PMI. You're up next on the net.
K8PMI, KE8VZA here. I'm torn between two of them. I'm going to go with Roanoke. Roanoke. What else? Still marveling at how much fun field day was. It really was. It was a blast. Many from an action weekend. Not a whole lot going on here. Had a nice, relaxing weekend with the family over the holiday. It was very nice, very nice. And I took Monday off, so I was back to work today, and much, much more relaxed. And anyway, thanks for picking me up, Phil, and good to hear everybody. KE8VZA back to net control.
All right, Eric, good to talk to you and good seeing you at Field Day. We'll be clear with KE8VZA, and that was not the correct answer. Roanoke was not the correct answer. So now we're going to get it over to Gregory out in Broken Arrow, AI5HV. You got the same question there. You're up next on the Club Net. This is K8PMI. All right, nothing heard from Gregory. Checked in on the blue screen, getting a couple of you blue screeners there on. Up next will be James, KE8QWE. You're up next on the Club Net. This is K8PMI.
Kilo Echo 8, Quebec Whiskey Echo. Well, everybody, hope everybody's doing well. Trivia. I don't know. I'm going to go with Plymouth. I guess that's about as good as any of them. I should probably know that, but when I was in school, history was never one of the ones that I liked. So, in any event, well, what have I been up to? Just doing a lot of stuff around here today. I washed cars. I went to the bank. I made a deposit. We had some things we just had to get done. So other than that, I haven't been up to a whole lot. So I'll go ahead and return this back to Phil. Kilo Echo 8, Quebec Whiskey Echo to K8PMI. See you, folks.
Thank you, James. And Plymouth is not the right answer. So now we're going to go down to the $5 dream, or however it's said. I'm not the one that does it. But KE8UIB, you're going to be up next, and the question is still the same. What was the first permanent English settlement in North America? This is W8WKY ClubNet. You're up, John.
K8PMI from K8UIB. Good evening, Phil, everybody out there on the net. And I'm messaging back and forth with my mom and dad, and they don't have an idea on this one. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Phil, I'm just not that intelligent on some things. I coincide with Kelly Bundy on Married with Children. I'm limited to what I know. I see the wife even agreeing. So with that, I'm going to choose an answer from a Silent Key who, when I first started getting into ham radio, always had the perfect answer when you just couldn't come up with the answer. And I'm going to steal one from Clark, and I'm going to go with peppermint ice cream. I'm just going to keep it simple. And that's the perfect answer when you just don't know. I'm going to go with peppermint ice cream since I have no multiple choice. With that, everybody's having a good evening. I'm home. I'm playing radio. That's a great way to spend the evening, and that is how you live the $5 dream, a nickel at a time. And with that, guys, this is KE8UIB. I'm going to hand this back over to Net Control. 7-3, y'all.
All right, 7-3, Kelly Bundy. But I do like peppermint ice cream. All right, that brings us to the bottom list. So the trivia question still remains, what was the first permanent English settlement in North America? And I'm looking for check-ins. Call now, please. This is
Kilo Delta
PMI.
8 Tango November Foxtrot KD8 TNF. My name is Chris.
Alpha 8 Charlie Tango. Good evening, Phil.
Kilo 4 Oscar Golf. The original gangster, Mark and Copley.
Kilo Alpha 8 Lima Yankee Juliet, KA8 LYJ, Bob in Barberton.
Kilo Echo 8 Echo Golf Alpha Kevin Worcester, but I'm in and out.
Kilo Foxtrot 8 Delta Tango Alpha Jeff in New Franklin, in and out.
All right, I'll pick it up there. Want to thank my in and out stations, EGA and DTA. Got you on the log, and hopefully you can stop back next time and spend some time with us. Bob, I apologize. I put you in on the list as first and forgot about you. So I will get back to you here shortly. We're going to go to AA8CT. Craig, he's a history buff, sort of like what I am. He probably is going to get this answer. But you're up, AA8CT. This is K8PMI. What do you got for us?
All right, I'm sorry. We hopped in the car, some things. Time got away from us. The first permanent settlement, I'm going to try Jamestown. I don't know if that's right or not. There's a couple others, but I don't know that they would be considered permanent. So there's what I'm going to shoot at you, and don't know because I don't. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to Net Control, K8PMI, and have a wonderful evening, and thank you for doing in the net tonight, Phil. AA8CT.
AA8CT. Well, that was a pretty good guess. You got it right. Jamestown was the first permanent English settlement in North America. Yep, we'll talk to you tomorrow morning. I'm sure you'll be on, and I will catch you on down the log. Have a good evening, Craig. Now, the original gangster, K4OG, I got to get you a question. So the next question I have is, who was the notorious pirate known as Blackbeard? Got to give me his name. K4OG, this is K8PMI. You're up.
W8WKY, K4OG here. Good evening, Phil. Who was Blackbeard? I'm going to guess Steve Martin. I don't know. But anyway, good question. Good trivia question. Well, Phil, I'm just sitting here. I sent Jim an email showing off my pretty weather rock I displayed out there on the patio with the sign, verbiage stating all the different weather conditions. the Weather Rock. His granddaughter Ariana made it. Anyway, I sent that to him and attached a GIF I made welcoming Judy home with the film from The Wizard of Oz, where Judy Garland's clicking her heels and saying there's no place like home. And Glinda, the nice witch, wrapped her arms around her. It turned out pretty good. And just casually filling out my 13 colony special event log with all the contacts I made, and and having a great time listening to your net. Okay, K4OG, back to you guys.
All right, and your guess was so close. I thought you had it. You just didn't get the last name right. Hi. Thanks for joining us, Mark, and you have a great evening. We'll be clear with K4OG, and we're going to head over to Bob in Barberton, K8LYJ. You're up next, and do you know the notorious pirate known as Blackbeard? What was his name? This is K8PMI.
K8PMI, this is K8LYJ. Good evening to you, good evening to the net. Quiet day today. Spent most of it just puttering around in the office. As far as Blackbeard, his real name was Edward Teach, Teach. And with that, I'll give it back to you. This is K8LYJ.
Outstanding job. I thought that was going to be a tougher one, but we got some pretty smart people out here in the Hamley, so you got that one right on the button. So that takes us to the bottom of the list, so we'll be clear with K8LYJ, and I'm looking for more check-ins, and I will have a trivia question for you right after the check-in. So I'm listening. This is a W8WKY ClubNet, and your net control operator is Phil, K8PMI, and for check-ins. Call now, please.
Kilo Charlie 8 Hotel Delta Papa KC8 HDP Jerry and Shreve.
KF8 ELA Kilo Foxtrot 8 Echo Lima Alpha.
All right, I'll pick it up there. I got Kilo Foxtrot 8 EL, and then I got Jerry HDP. We'll start off with Jerry, and let's see. The next trivia question is, what is the longest river in Canada? So, Jerry, KC8HDP, I also love how you call your call sign in. You can tell you've been a net control operator. Easy to copy. Jerry, what do you got for the net? This is K8PMI.
K8PMI, Phil and the net. This is KC8HDP. Well, good evening, Phil. Good evening to everyone on the net. Gosh, I'm having trouble even thinking of one river in Canada. So you've got me stumped there, Phil. Well, had lunch today as usual with the Wayne Aries group. That was a good time as always. And that was about all I was up to today, except for getting on some nets. So Really comfortable day today. Unfortunately, it's not going to remain that way. Humidity is going to come back up, and the heat's coming back up, but that's summer. Well, don't really have anything else, so I'll send things back to you, Phil. W8WKY in the net from KC8HDP 73.
All right, Jerry. Thanks a lot for joining us, and we appreciate the check-in. We'll be clear with KC8HDP. Jerry did not get the question, so we'll head over to Zach, KF8ELA. You got the question. What's the longest river in Canada? This is K8PMI. You're up.
KF8ELA. Good evening, Phil, and everybody else on the net. I'm actually having a hard time thinking of a river, too. Always wanted to go up in Canada, spend some time up there, but I don't know that I even know a river, so I might have to pass on that question here. But hopefully I'm coming into the repeater okay. I'm coming in from a little HP on the back porch, and I think I made it okay on the check-in there. Hopefully you copied it. But just enjoying the evening on the back porch. Kids are in bed and asleep. We're just having some quiet time out here, listening in, and enjoy being a part of the net here with everybody. With that, I'll send it back. This is KF8ELA.
All right, Zach, thanks for joining us. And I didn't think that one was going to be that tough of a question, but after I saw the answer, I knew it was going to be a tough question because it wasn't the one I thought of. So other than that, that's the bottom of the list. Anybody else? I didn't hear from KC8FQV, and you were on in the beginning, so I'm going to make a special call to you. KC8FQV, this is K8PMI. Do you want to get in on the club net there, Mark?
Okay, KC8FQV, I heard you trivia a little different tonight. Ask this question until it answered, and then you move on to another one, KC8FQV.
Yeah, I got to keep you on your toes so you can't get the answers on Google. So what's your answer for the longest river in Canada? K8PMI.
I'll try the Columbia on that KC8FQV.
Nope, it's not the Columbia. So, all right, good to hear you, Mark, and you have a good evening, and thanks for being there. Other than that, that's the bottom of the list. Anybody else want to check in? This is the W8WKY ClubNet, and I'm listening. This is K8PMI.
W2JLS, John in Fairlawn, W2JLS.
Let me pick it up there. Whoever just checked in, you're barely breaking the repeater. I couldn't copy anything. Can you try repositioning and trying it again?
Kilowatt Germany 7, Italy Radio Japan, all in that one.
All right, I got you, Paul. Anybody else want to check in?
W8WKY.
Kilo Foxtrot 8, Echo Delta Echo, at New Challenge.
All right, we picked up 3. I got Paul and Pat, and the first one to check in was W2JLS. The question is, what is the longest river in Canada? You're up next on the ClubNet.
W2JLS, I'm jumping in here. Thanks for hosting the net. I'll wish you a good evening on your ears, to you and all the listeners. Was making my way over here to the Lifestyles Gym in Fairlawn, and I did tune in here from Echolink. I heard the question. I gather there probably were no choices. If I'm honest, I only know of one river in all of Canada that's coming to mind, and I don't know if it's the longest, but went to school up at Clarkson University in Potsdam, and I'm aware of the St. Lawrence. So that'll be my guess, and that's a wild stab. It's a big country. The fact that I know that one probably isn't getting it. But anyway, there's my answer. I do appreciate maybe this different mode of trivia. Other nets use it, I think, effectively. I like the idea of it. W2JLS, there's my 2 cents. Back to net.
All right, John, we'll take your 2 cents, and if the hires at B don't like it, they'll fire me. Hi. So that is not the correct answer. That is what I thought the answer was myself, but that is not the correct answer. So we're going to move over to Paul. I got I think it was KD7IRJ, but can you confirm the prefix on that, Paul? And you're up next.
K8PMI, Kilowatt Germany, 7, Italy, Radio Japan. And my answer is Yukon. That's the only river in Canada I can think of. But we'll try the Yukon. K27IRJ.
Good guess, Paul, but that is not the answer. And appreciate you checking in. And you have a good evening. We're going to head over to Pat, KF8EDE. You're up next on the ClubNet. Pat, when you checked in, your signal was good. I don't know if you moved around or something happened, but you're barely even breaking the repeater. Try repositioning and give me a call back here. KF8EDE. This is K8PMI. I'm sorry, Patrick. Couldn't get you there. So I'm going to do another round of check-ins here. I got you on the log, and thanks for checking in. So that's the bottom of the list. We're almost to the top of the hour. Does anybody else want to check in or give a guess? I'll take a recheck. And UIB said the Ohio River. Now, there's no doubt about it. That's a Kelly Bundy job right there. So, all right, looking for more check-ins, and I want to know the longest river in Canada. This is KAPMI. I'm listening.
KF8 DTA recheck.
KF8 DTA. Go ahead, you're up.
I've been just sitting here listening and enjoying in between hanging out with the kids, but I don't know, Niagara, I don't know if that's a river or just a guess off the top of my head. Just hanging out with the family, listening to the net. I kind of like your the way you're doing your questions. KF8 DTA, back to net control.
All right, that's a good guess, but that is not correct. I believe the Niagara ends up going into the St. Lawrence, but I'm not 100% sure. But, all right, that's bottom of the list. If there's nobody else, we can wrap this up, and I can give you the answers. And I see everybody on the blue screen. Yes, Google answers are pretty good trivia questions there. So anybody else have anything for the net? And last call, I'm listening. This is K8PMI.
Whiskey 8, Charlie Tango Mike, recheck.
W8CTM. Well, at least you're talking to me now. The last couple times you slept in and didn't get me, but last Saturday you got me, so I always got to have the closer. So W8CTM, what do you got for us? This is K8PMI.
Well, Phil, I've been listening to your trivia questionnaire, the last one, and boy, it just jumped out at me because I had, she passed away here a couple years ago, but a good friend that lived in Yellowknife, Canada, which is on the Great Slave Lake, and she used to tell me about trips they would take down to the Mackenzie River, which she said at the time was the biggest or longest river in Canada, and I think it flows from like the Great Slave Lake up to the Arctic. And I believe that's the answer, but I'm not sure, but I'll throw it back to you and we'll see where it goes. W8CTM, Carrie here at Portage Lakes.
Not only are you the barometer net closer, that wins the trivia question. So that is 100% correct. The Mackenzie River is the longest river in Canada. So if nobody else has anything else for the net, I'll close it down, but I'll one last call for anybody that wants to add anything. Other than that, we'll close it on down. I want to thank everybody for participating. I really enjoyed the net, enjoyed doing the questions, and hopefully everybody else enjoyed it as well. So if anybody has any last things, call now. Other than that, I will be wrapping it up. This is K8PMI. I'm listening.
W8WKY.
All right, nothing heard. So this has been W8WKY ClubNet, and this net meets regularly on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. and runs for about an hour. Successful nets rely on participation, so please be a regular check-in. From the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association on the W8WKY repeater, 147 Mark 39 megahertz in Doylestown, Ohio, we now return this frequency to regular amateur radio use. 73, everybody. This is K8PMI. Have a good evening. I'm QRT.
KE8EGA. I just want to point out that the only reason Kerry could answer that Canadian question was because he was number 42 this morning, and that luck just passed on to this net.
I forgot to mention, Phil. Yeah, I'll try to see you guys next week at the meeting and possibly before at dinner. Or chow. KSFQV.
PMI K8LYJ. I don't know if you're still out there, but if you are, that was a fun format tonight. I liked that. Hope somebody else picks that up down the line. This is K8LYJ.
K8LYJ. This is K8PMI. Well, thank you very much. Just trying to do stuff a little different sometimes, and trying to have fun with it. So glad you enjoyed it. I hope everyone else did too. So this is K8PMI. I'm clear.